Do you feel the vibes?
Dalton's atomic theory. Actually, Dalton, he has the scientist. Dalton was scientist, and according to the Dalton's atomic theory, all matter, whether an element or a compound, okay, or a mixture, okay, so these are composed of small particles, and these particles are known as atoms. So according to the Dalton's atomic theory, all the particles which are present in the universe, that are formed by the small particles, and that small particle is the atom. Means everything is formed by the atom, that is formed by very smallest particle. Okay, so Dalton has given some postulates. I want to discuss these postulates. First postulate, so you can write the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. And these postulates are also states the laws of combination, or laws of chemical combination, mainly the law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion, these favors. So how, first main postulates, I want to discuss the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So first postulate that everything which is present in the matter is formed by the very small particle, that particle is atom. So you can write all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atom. So you can write first all particles of matter, or all matter is made up of, all matter is made up of very tiny particles, ठीक है, very tiny particles called atoms. Very tiny particles called atoms. That is the first postulate. It means all the matter, you know, everything which is present on the atmosphere, and that matter, anything which has mass and occupies space, that is matter. So everything which is present in atmosphere, that is matter, that is made up of very tiny particle, and that particle is atom. Okay, now second postulate, atoms are indivisible particle, means they are not divided further. Okay, and they cannot be created and not destroyed, that I have already told you. So they are indivisible particle, they can neither be created, remains same. So you can write atoms are indivisible particles. Second, atoms are indivisible particles. Atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created, and nor destroyed. Okay, so you can write cannot be created nor destroyed, in a chemical reaction. not destroyed in a chemical reaction. So actually atoms are not divided further, they cannot be created and not destroyed in a chemical reaction, they remains as it is. Okay. So next is atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical proportion. So you can write the third postulate, atoms in a atoms of a given element, you can write atoms of a given element, atoms of a given element are identical in mass, are identical, identical means same, identical in mass, identical in mass and chemical proportions. Okay. So you can write identical in mass and chemical properties, you can write identical in mass and chemical properties. It means their chemical properties are not changed, they remains as it is, and that identical in mass also means their mass will be same, that is not change. So they are identical in mass and identical in their chemical properties. Now next postulate we can write, and these postulates are given in your book also, 5-6 postulates are there, I think 6 postulates are given in your book. So you can learn and write these postulates. If these are easy, then you can learn these, otherwise you can learn from your book also. Okay. Now next postulates, atoms of different elements have different mass and different chemical properties. Here atoms of given element are identical, but if the atoms of different elements are there, these are the same element. For example, if we will take the oxygen, then oxygen has only the atoms of oxygen. Okay. But if there will be the different, for one is oxygen, another is nitrogen. So these are the different elements, so they have different chemical properties and different mass also. So you can write atoms of different elements, atoms of different elements, atoms of different elements have different masses, have different masses and chemical properties, means they have different chemical properties. Okay. So different masses and chemical properties and chemical properties. Okay. Now next postulate, that atoms combine in the ratio of simple, that we have done, they are fixed in ratio. So atoms are combined in the ratio of simple whole numbers and they will form the compounds. So simple whole numbers are combined together and these ratio will combine together, they will form their compounds, that compounds are new. Okay. So next is fifth, this postulates is just states the law of constant proportion, this one, that atoms combine in the ratio of, atoms combine in a ratio of, atoms combine in a ratio of simple whole numbers, in the ratio of simple whole numbers, in the ratio of simple whole numbers, whole numbers simple whole numbers and to form compounds. Simple whole numbers to form compounds. So, you can write to form compounds. And last postulate is the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant, okay, in a given compound. Mainly the relative number is there, so that will be a constant of a given compound. It means that atoms which are present in the element that has constant proportion, okay. So, you can write the relative number, the relative number, the relative number and kinds of atoms are, and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound, are constant in a given compound, in a given compound. Okay. So, these are the different postulates. These are known as the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. As these postulates are given by the Dalton, that was the scientist. As I have told you, this Dalton has given these, John Dalton, he has given these postulates in 1808, and he presented his atomic theory, which was turning point in the study of matter. That matter we are studying different types of the matter, how matter is formed. So, that was given by the John Dalton. So, please learn these postulates and Dalton's theory, mainly postulates of Dalton's theory, okay. And at last I would like to say that you should learn all these Dalton's postulates and the two laws that was two laws that we have done already. What are these two laws? Law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion, okay. By these, thank you and have a nice day.